Welcome to Motivational Humanity. You are not alone.
You know, there's this quiet moment after you walk away from someone who broke you when everything goes still. And in that silence, your mind whispers the most dangerous question of all. What if I go back? I've been there. Maybe you have too. Standing at the crossroads of heartbreak and healing, looking back at someone who once felt like home, even though that home kept burning you alive. So today, I want to talk about why you should never, ever go back to a toxic relationship. Not because you didn't love them, not because you're bitter, but because you deserve to stop bleeding for people who refuse to stop hurting you. You know, one of the most powerful realizations I ever had in my own healing journey was this: familiar doesn't mean safe. It sounds simple, right? But it's one of those truths that doesn't really hit you until you're standing in the ashes of something that once felt like home. See, the brain loves what it knows, even if what it knows hurts. Even if what it knows slowly destroys your confidence, your joy, your peace, your brain still says, hey, at least this feels familiar. And that's the trap so many of us fall into when we leave a toxic relationship. We remember the laughter, the good mornings, the inside jokes, the late night texts that made our hearts skip. We remember the warmth of being wanted, even if that warmth came with 1,000 cold moments of neglect. It's confusing, because your body misses what your soul escaped. And that's where guilt creeps in. You start to wonder, maybe it wasn't that bad. Maybe I overreacted. Maybe if I go back, I can fix it this time. But listen, that's not love talking. That's the echo of your own pain trying to find its way back to what feels known. It's the same reason people go back to unhealthy habits, unhealthy jobs, unhealthy friendships. Because the unknown, even when it's better, feels scarier than the pain they've learned to live with. Let me tell you a story. A woman once told me, I knew my relationship was over when I stopped crying about how much he hurt me and started crying because I didn't know who I'd be without him. That moment broke my heart because I understood it. I understood that kind of fear, the fear of who we are without the person who once defined us. But here's what I told her: you are not defined by what destroyed you. You are defined by what you choose to rebuild. And going back to something toxic just because it feels familiar is like returning to a house that's burned down, expecting warmth, but finding only smoke. It doesn't matter how many times you repaint the walls, the foundation is still cracked. When we call something home, we forget that not every home is healthy. Some homes have doors that slam, voices that sting, and walls that hold memories of fear. Some homes teach us to tiptoe, to silence ourselves, to make ourselves smaller so we don't upset the peace. But real love, real home, doesn't make you afraid of your own voice. It doesn't make you anxious every time you speak your truth. It doesn't make you question your worth when you stand up for yourself. If it costs you your peace, it's too expensive, no matter how familiar it feels. So the next time you're tempted to go back, remember this: your comfort zone might be the very thing keeping you in chains. You can love the memories and still walk away from the person. You can miss what was and still honor what is. Because sometimes the bravest thing you'll ever do is not leave once. It's refuse to go back. There's a part of all of us that wants to believe in the power of change. That little voice in our hearts whispers, if I love them enough, if I forgive enough, if I try harder, maybe this time it will be different. And isn't that what makes us human? That hope, that stubborn belief that love can fix what was broken. But here's the painful truth. Love alone cannot heal someone who isn't willing to heal themselves. Toxic relationships feed on hope. They thrive on it. Every apology that's followed by the same behavior, every promise broken, every heartfelt conversation that ends in dismissal. These aren't failures on your part. They are the patterns of someone who cannot meet you where you are, someone who cannot be what you need them to be. I remember listening to a woman describe her experience, and she said, I thought if I loved him enough, he would stop hurting me. I thought my devotion could fix the cracks in his soul. She paused, her voice trembling. But what I didn't realize is that I was just patching up the cracks in his story, not mine. And isn't that what happens? We keep patching, fixing, and trying to make them whole, hoping that our love, our patience, our sacrifice will finally make them see us finally make them stay, finally make them care. But here's the thing you can't heal in the same place you got hurt. You can't rebuild your heart on the foundation that someone else shattered. No amount of devotion, no amount of hope, no amount of just this one more chance will change the truth they are who they are, and you are who you need to be. Every time we go back, we give away our power. We convince ourselves that our worth depends on someone else seeing it, validating it, or reciprocating it. And in doing so, we abandon ourselves. I've watched brilliant, strong, compassionate people shrink in these relationships. They start to question their own perceptions, their own feelings, their own instincts. They try to justify behaviors that are unacceptable, making excuses for someone else's inability to love well. But you were never meant to live in a shadow of someone else's pain. You were meant to shine in the light of your own truth. And truth is this: people who hurt you repeatedly and knowingly rarely, if ever, have the capacity to heal you. You can't find your peace in someone else's brokenness. You can't reclaim your voice in someone who refuses to listen. You can't reclaim your joy in someone who doesn't value it. Walking away is not rejection, it's recognition. Recognition that love is not meant to be a battlefield. Recognition that respect is not negotiable. Recognition that your heart deserves a home that feels safe, not a house that keeps collapsing around you. And when you finally accept that, when you finally let go of the idea that someone else can be the hero of your story, something miraculous happens. You become the hero. You reclaim your courage. You reclaim your worth. And you begin to understand that the person who broke you was never the enemy. The real danger was staying, hoping they would be something they were never willing to be. So when the urge to go back comes, remember this: you deserve more than survival. You deserve to thrive. And thriving begins with leaving behind the person who will never be able to give you what you need. No matter how much you wish they could, boundaries are one of the most misunderstood concepts in our culture. People hear the word boundary, and they think it's harsh or cold or mean, like it's something that pushes people away. But the truth is, boundaries are acts of courage. Boundaries are acts of self-respect. They are declarations that you matter, that your feelings matter, that your time matters, that your heart matters. I remember a woman once telling me, I felt guilty for setting a boundary. I felt like I was being selfish for saying no. And I said to her, no, you are being brave. You are being human. You are honoring your life. Because here's the reality: when you refuse to set boundaries in a toxic relationship, you teach people how to treat you. You teach them that it's okay to take your time, your energy, your joy, your voice, all of it, without consequence. And eventually, you begin to teach yourself the same thing. You begin to shrink, to soften, to ignore your own needs in order to survive someone else's chaos. Boundaries are the way you tell the world, and more importantly yourself, I am worth protecting. I am worth prioritizing. I will not be a doormat for anyone, no matter how much I love them. And let me be honest, setting boundaries is rarely easy. The people who have hurt you the most will push back. They will make you feel guilty, ashamed, or unkind for wanting to protect yourself. They might say things like, I just want to talk, or you're overreacting, or can't we try again? And the truth is, they don't want a boundary, they want control. They want the freedom to hurt you without consequence. That's why boundaries are radical. Boundaries are revolutionary. Because every time you say, no, I will not accept this behavior, you are reclaiming the power that was stolen from you. You are building a life that honors your heart instead of surrendering it. And here's the most beautiful part: boundaries don't close you off from love. They don't make you cold or unfeeling. They simply create a container for the kind of love that sustains you. Love that doesn't demand you shrink. Love that doesn't ask you to ignore your intuition. Love that doesn't require you to constantly sacrifice your well-being for someone else's comfort. So when you find yourself tempted to go back, to give another chance, remember this: saying no is not cruelty. Saying no is an act of integrity. Saying no is how you tell the world and yourself that your peace, your dignity, your heart, they are not negotiable. Because the truth is, you are not responsible for someone else's healing. You are responsible for your own. And boundaries are the roadmap to that freedom, the compass that points you back to yourself. Every boundary you set is a step toward your own courage, toward your own wholeness, toward the life that you deserve. A life where love doesn't hurt, where respect is mutual, and where your heart finally feels safe. One of the hardest parts of leaving a toxic relationship is not just walking away from the person, it's walking away from the version of them you hoped they could be. I see it all the time. People don't just fall in love with someone's actions, they fall in love with the potential, the maybe one day version of who that person could become. We imagine a partner who finally listens, finally cares, finally appreciates us the way we deserve. We create a story in our minds of what our life could be, if only they would change, if only they would show up fully, if only they loved us like we've always dreamed. And there's nothing wrong with hope. Hope is human. But here's the catch. Hope becomes dangerous when it keeps you tied to someone who has repeatedly proven they cannot be that person. I once spoke with a woman who told me, "I loved the idea of him more than I loved him. I loved the story of what we could be together, not the reality of who he was." Her voice trembled, and I could feel the weight of that realization. Because the fantasy we build is seductive. It softens the truth, it dims the warning signs, it makes us ignore the pain in the present for the comfort of a future that may never arrive. And it's exhausting, isn't it? To constantly bend, to constantly forgive, to constantly hope. It's like trying to build a house on sand, always hoping that the tide won't come and wash it away. You can't grow in the soil of fantasy. You can't heal in the land of what could be. Healing requires facing reality, the raw, unfiltered truth of who someone is and how they treat you. Grieving the person you thought they could be is one of the most courageous acts you'll ever do. Because it means you are willing to let go of the story, even if it hurts. It means you are willing to release the illusion of love that never really existed so that you can make room for the love that actually will. Here's what most people don't tell you. Walking away from potential doesn't mean you are giving up on love. It means you are giving yourself a chance at something real, something healthy, something that doesn't come with anxiety, manipulation, or pain as the price of admission. And when you finally release the fantasy, you finally stop living in a shadow of disappointment and start living in the light of possibility. You begin to recognize the difference between love that nourishes you and love that drains you. You begin to understand that what you deserve isn't someone's potential, it's someone's presence. So when the memory of, maybe one day, whispers to you in the quiet of the night, remind yourself that person was never capable of becoming what you needed. And the only way to find someone who is, the only way to find love that doesn't hurt, is to let go of the person who already has. Because healing isn't about going back. Healing is about finally believing that you deserve a love that matches your worth. A love that is real, not imagined. Here's the truth that so many of us struggle to fully accept. You don't need anyone's permission to heal. You don't need someone else to validate your pain, apologize enough, or prove that you're worth their love. Your peace, your growth, your freedom, they belong to you and you alone. Too often, we stay trapped in toxic relationships because we think we owe the other person something. We think we need their approval to leave, their acknowledgement to move on, or their closure to finally breathe. And while it may feel polite or loyal, it's really just another way of giving away your power, your time, your energy, your heart, to someone who has already shown you that they are not capable of valuing it. I remember talking with a woman who said, "I kept going back because I wanted him to see what he lost. I wanted him to understand. And I had to tell her something hard. You don't have to make anyone understand. You don't have to justify your choices. You don't owe anyone the chance to repair what they broke in you." When we go back to toxic relationships, we are asking someone else to hold the key to our happiness, when in reality, that key has always been in our own hands. We are waiting for their permission to step into the life we deserve, when the truth is, it is already ours. We just have to claim it. Your peace is not negotiable. It is sacred. And when you choose to protect it, you are not being selfish. You are being brave. You are saying, "I will not settle for fear disguised as love. I will not compromise my joy for someone else's convenience. I will not shrink so someone else can feel big." And this is where courage meets clarity. Courage is not just leaving the toxic relationship once. It's refusing to go back, even when it hurts, even when it's uncomfortable, even when your heart aches for what used to be. Because the heart can miss someone without needing to return to them. The heart can grieve without returning. And the heart can love without compromising its own well-being. You deserve love that is steady, not conditional. You deserve respect that is unwavering, not negotiable. You deserve peace that is complete, not borrowed. And the moment you fully embrace this truth, you stop asking for permission to heal, because you realize that healing is not a favor you seek from someone else. Healing is a birthright you claim for yourself. So when that whisper comes in the middle of the night, the one that tells you to go back, the one that tempts you with familiarity, remember this: you have already survived what you thought would break you. You have already endured what you thought you couldn't bear. And you are still standing. Don't go back. Don't compromise. Don't negotiate your peace.